Go ahead.
Okay, come on, red, blue.
I'm gonna try and do this again. I know whatever I say, it's not gonna be good enough, but Ken Whitmire was my mentor in my photography. He passed away today. He was the Ansel Adams of color and canvas and portraiture. And to study with him, it was just amazing because he always had such an exuberance and such a passion for light and for tone, and he taught me so much about it. Everything that I do as a photographer was basically founded on the principles that Ken inspired me to pursue.
Okay, hold it. That wasn't it, what I had.
And every time you would sit down and talk, every time I went out with him, every time we had an adventure or a discussion, I would learn something new, and it was really something. Ken and I are both really passionate and driven, but we could always sit down and we could just talk about image making. I've got all these annual editions of these beautiful prints Ken would make. Ken had pretty much every award you can imagine, and the work that I do is because of Ken. I've got a family portrait on our wall that was made by him, and I'm gonna cherish that. I'm looking at my composition. It's wrong. Space, position, line, and tone. I'm too centered in the frame here. I've been meaning to call Ken the past couple weeks because I got my merits for my master's degree, and that's because of him and what I learned from him. And I was going to ask him, I was going to see if he could give me the medallion at conference coming up here. But I'll still take it knowing that what I learned about light and tone and space and my passion for those things and what it taught me about business and marketing and all these things that I do every day, I'll still know that my biggest influence in that was Ken. I remember this one trip we took to the coast, and we did this amazing portrait session. Ken did, rather, I just learned. And that little car, he would take that little car anywhere. And we got it down on the beach, and it got stuck. And it was stuck, and we were trying to dig it out there, and it was dark, and it was not made for the beach, and these guys came along and they towed us out. And Ken bought him a case of beer. There's so many good memories you could share about Ken, and I hope everybody will make a video kind of like this and talk about Ken, because rather than sit here and be sad and depressed that he's not with us anymore, I was just looking through photos and thinking about all the neat conversations. Vi would kind of have to rein him in because Ken would go 100 miles an hour all the time. I remember I'd call the studio and it'd be like late, and he was still at the studio working. At every conference, he'd give us these tape measures, and they'd say it was $1,000 because it represented what we could gain by being aware of the space and the proper size, the appropriate size and placement of a wall portrait. And I remember going downstairs, closing everything up for the night after the students had gone home at a wall portrait conference, and he'd be down there with his engraver carving these all out to give to us every year, every time. One time I got a call from Ken. I was traveling, and he called at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And he left a message about an email I had sent out. Oh, Gavin, I noticed in this email, and he was notifying me of a typo or something in the email I'd sent out, and it was like 2 in the morning, and I was laying in my camper, and he didn't even know what time it was. He would sit down at the studio, and the time would just disappear. My kids loved Ken. Every time we go down there, they'd run and they'd say, Ken! And he was always so excited and so exuberant. And people sometimes say, well, Gavin, you have so much energy. And I'd look at Ken, who's so much older than me and think, wow, he has so much energy. I hope I have that much energy when I'm Ken's age. We're gonna miss you, buddy. We're gonna miss you.